She was born in winter, when rivers dared not run, in a house of buried silence, where snow eclipsed the sun. The trees had long forgotten.
Good evening. I'd wanted to make this video for a while, and just haven't gotten around to doing it yet. So, here we go. There is a lot of negative feeling around generative AI going around at this point, as we all know. Now, there is a lot to complain about in regards to AI, but most of the people who do the complaining don't actually understand just what generative large language models do and how they're used. They think it's not art, it's cheating, it's taking shortcuts, it's soulless, it steals, you've heard it all. And most of those arguments were word for word, literally, leveled against photography back in the day. As a photographer myself, I most definitely do consider photography to be art. Now, I'm not going to lecture you on what is and isn't art. Even dictionaries can't agree on that. But what I am going to do is show you how I use generative AI to make music. Now, you may think I just type in a prompt and out pops a song. I wish. No. So, generally I start with some lyrics. Now, I don't use an AI to generate these, although I might discuss an idea. Let's take the Sumerian lyrics I've been working on. Where are you? Here we go. Okay, so this is my list of lyrics and their translations. Now, I start off with actually writing the English components. And because it'll eventually be translated into Sumerian, I can actually not worry too much about things like rhyme scheme and syllables, because that's all going to change in ways that I can't really predict once it's translated into Sumerian. I can control a bit of things. For instance, if I need extra syllables, I can always add a nigmesh or an emimesh. Basically refers to things or things spoken of. And that'll add a syllable. Mesh itself, which makes the thing plural, is often in actual Sumerian implied, so doesn't need to be stated, so it's optional. That's a syllable. But generally, what I'll do is I will go line by line. I'll take the first line and... Oh, you don't need to see that, that's me. Okay. So I use two different instances of ChatGPT. I used to use one, but that was before I discovered how unreliable ChatGPT is when it comes to something so contextually sensitive as Sumerian. One window will be where I actually do the translations. The other window is quality control. Basically, I give ChatGPT the line, I ask it to translate it, have it tell me why exactly it's making, for instance, why it went with Kima, why Sheg, Kima Sheg Gata Gidim Ini Neguba'a. Okay. Let's see. Kima. Yes. Kima 2. Well, first off, we have a problem right here. Because Kima does not mean tomb. It means literally great place. Now, contextually, this can refer to a tomb, but it doesn't have to. Now, in previous songs, I've gotten around this by saying, what was it? Illumermesh. Illumermesh, yes. The houses of the dead men. That works to convey tomb, but Illumermesh, 4 syllables. Kima is 2 syllables. Now, often something like this will come up where the instance, where the translation is fed into another instance of ChatGPT that can't guess what I originally meant. Now, I know no one speaks Sumerian. No one who's seeing this video is going to be able to call me out if I make a really big mistake, thank God. But nevertheless, I do want it to be correct. So for that, and especially as contextual and subject to interpretation as Sumerian is, I need to be able to have a translation that's so unambiguous that someone who has no idea what I'm talking about, but could, well, not read, but could translate the language from hearing it, can tell what I'm trying to do. That's why this has to go back and forth so much. So Kima can mean a tomb, but that's too ambiguous. Shega, broken, shattered, smashed. Well, this was for the song Broken Tombs, so Shega works, if that's what it actually means. So, let's see. Yeah, Illumermesh, that's what my construction to deal with tombs. Let's see. So Shega, broken, fragmented, yeah, fragment. Okay, so Shegata, that would work. So, Kima Shegta Gidim Ine Guba'a, the house of broken things of spirit stands. That's not what I wanted. So basically we go back and forth until I'm satisfied and both instances of ChatGPT are satisfied. I think in this case I went with, I have to scroll down here a bit because this took a while. So we went with Gidim Ine. Gidim also denotes dead, but it's more like spirits rather than just corpses. Either way would have worked. Lumermesh or Gidim. Gidim uses 2 syllables. Lumermesh uses 3, so we went with this because it's even in this line. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 syllables. That's a long line. So that's how we do it. Now, I wanted to walk you through actually translating a song. Unfortunately, for the song I had set up, I kind of did something a little irregular. It's not all in Sumerian. It's a mix of Sumerian and English. The chorus for this, I had this idea, sticks and stones. It just popped into my head. So it was going to be sticks and stones, and I thought a bit. This was for a Halloween album. Yeah, I know, it's end of January now. I'm way late on this. So sticks and stones and rotting bones. It works. Works in English. So I thought I'd build a song around that, and I'd go ahead and see how that sounded, instead of writing everything in English and then translating it. So I came up with this sticks and stones, sticks and stones, sticks and stones, and rotting bones, and that was supposed to be the chorus. I'll show you what I actually did later. But after a bit of a back and forth, we ended up with about 6 different ways to say it. Technically, G-na. G meaning stick or reed, and na meaning stone. And that would do it. I could just say G-na. The plural in this case is implied. However, I can be explicit if I need the extra syllables. So we get G-mesh and na-mesh. But, well, G-mesh and na-mesh would be like items in a list. but they're not specifically this and that. I could go without it, but U subscript 3 or U subscript 4, it turns out would work, and I used that a couple times. So I ended up with G mesh, una mesh, G mesh, una mesh, G mesh, una mesh, humu shig mesh e, I think. Yes. Because for a previous song we'd done this, and ChatGPT told me that it was oosh for bone. Oosh does not mean bone. I had to go back and redo the entire song. That was embarrassing. March of the Bones, that song was. That's actually part of this album. So, I had to redo the song. Instead of oosh meshi sheggy sheg, it became humu meshi sheggy sheg. So, I came up with this chorus, but I was stumped on how to take it from there. Because, okay, you've got this chorus, sticks and stones, sticks and stones, sticks and stones, and rotting bones. But where do I go from there? I mean, I was drawing a blank. So I figured I'd see what ChatGPT said. Now, understand, I have no intention of letting it write my lyrics for me, but an idea. It would be better to talk to a real person, but I don't have one. I don't have anyone I can bounce ideas off of, so ChatGPT is it. Okay, so yeah, so I'd like to take a moment away from translating, because I've got a good chorus and I plan it to be the backbone of the song, but I'm not sure what else to do with it. It's my Halloween album, so it should be dark, creepy, spooky, scary, so forth. But ideally we'll have a Sumerian feel about it. I like, at least these songs, to have some kind of Sumerian feel. I tend to reference temples, gods, that sort of thing. And I try to think in ideas that, at least I believe, would make sense in context. So, as I was hoping, when I was talking about this with ChatGPT, I got to typing, just like if I was talking with a person, and I came up with this idea. I'd intersperse imagery in the chorus. For some reason, I thought of Childe Roland of the Dark Tower Came, a poem by Robert Browning. Well, I have it in this book, but this is 1878, so it's a little bit fragile. So I went with Poetry Foundation, which it's the exact same thing, just I'm not going to damage my antique book by looking through it. So in case you don't know, if you've ever read Stephen King's Dark Tower series, this is the poem that inspired it. And you've got to love the opening line. My first thought was, he lied in every word. Kind of puts you in mind of a politician. You know, it's pretty much all of them. They're all unrepentant liars, even the good ones. My opinion, of course. But this poem is very image heavy. And it's just a great poem. It's not my favorite. It's not, Robert Browning isn't my favorite author, but the imagery is just so amazing. I don't know what it's about, though. I mean, it kind of leaves that to just to your imagination. So here we have a G mesh, una mesh. And I can change how I say this, because I don't need both of these meshes. One will do, and it can be either one. I could get rid of the U if I want. I could get rid of both meshes if I want. I could say G mesh una, G una, G una mesh, G na, G mesh na, G na mesh. And it all carries the same... It carries the same meaning, because really the mesh is redundant, the U is technically redundant, so I can alter these syllables if I need, and I could take the mesh out here. I think the U needs to stay. There originally was a mesh here, it was originally shoot meshy, but anyway, So here was my chorus. It was supposed to come between these. But to handle the verses, I took the chorus, took out one of the G mesh unas, and broke it up. I probably should translate this into Sumerian, but in this case I want it to alternate between English and Sumerian. Now what I did is I basically tried to condense the imagery from Child Roll Into the Dark Tower Came into these 6 verses. It's close enough that you get the vibes from the poem, but unless you're actually familiar with it, you're probably not going to be able to immediately identify the source. Now, I would like to have, this was like originally supposed to be a chorus between these verses, but this is going to have to be generated by Refusion, and it's running about, well, 40 lines now, and Sumerian tends to confuse it anyway, because it's used to letters that make actual recognizable words in the language it recognizes. But it doesn't know Sumerian, so it treats these as sounds. Basically, I started off with this, and I wrote this one by one. Now, the syllable count's not very tight, but they do at least all end in the same sound. Here we have O, 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 ep, ept, ept, old, 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 ed, 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 o, o, o. Here, remain does not go with stones, but it's an outro. It'll be okay. One of the interesting things is sticks and stones in the outro is identified. It's sticks and stones in Sumerian, sticks and stones in Sumerian. But rotting bones is never translated. My take on this is that it's kind of a little tiny hidden sinister Easter egg. You could maybe even puzzle out that G-mesh Unamesh is sticks and stones, maybe. I mean, I probably couldn't if I didn't know, but maybe you could. It is a tiny bit implied. But Uhumu Mesh Shudi? No. You're not going to get that unless you know what it means, or you can look it up. And Google Translate isn't going to do it for you, because Google Translate doesn't know Sumerian. So, while I can't go through the entire process with you, now we can actually make the song. Now for this, like I said, we're using Refusion. I ended up going with Candidate 1 for Broken Tombs. Okay, and so it goes. But that took about 3 hours to get. Just continuously generating, and I have to listen to every single one. And I can't just, lie in bed and listen, because I've got to be looking at the actual lyrics to make sure everything is pronounced correctly, to make sure nothing is left out, to make sure nothing is garbled, because it loves to do all of those things. Now my prompt is pretty simple. I use mostly a form. I play around with some things in it. For this album, I'm using nothing but female vocals. Of course, vocals are in Sumerian and must be pronounced exactly without deviation or alteration and may not be garbled. Actually, let me do something first. I want to make sure it doesn't run its lines together. And this usually does that. Something I often need but do not need in this case, because I'd already done the translations, is with the Sumerian, I need to often add punctuation marks. Like this S here with the smiley face over it, I don't know what it's called, makes an SH sound, not an S sound. Sometimes the U needs one of those lines over it. I'm sorry, I really don't know what most of these punctuation marks are called, even though I use them, just to make sure that Refusion knows to pronounce it correctly. A lot of people use Suno. I don't know anything about Suno, other than that if OpenAI goes bankrupt, Suno won't work, but Refusion will. And I have not missed any subscripts. Sometimes it tries to pronounce the subscripts if you leave the numbers in. Okay, so right now all this does is specify female vocal. I want maybe a techno vibe for this. But I don't want to constrain it to actually being techno, because how it works is basically it uses the lyrics, at least I believe, to determine the instrumentals. But if I constrain the instrumentals too much, because these lyrics must be in the song, they can't be deviated from, then I may force it into a situation where it can't actually create anything that allows this to be sung, and you get errors, essentially. Well, let's look at female vocals with techno influence. Well, that's generating. What do I want here, actually? We'll take a listen and see what the techno vocals, the techno influence songs sound like, but it probably won't be anything usable. It almost never is. I'm not going to go through the entire generation process until I have a song that I think will work, because we could be here till 4 in the morning doing that. I know no one wants to watch me for like 3 hours. So this is for the Halloween album, so we want something that has a sinister feel. Maybe cold wave, dark wave. I don't think dark wave is going to work. Death folk might work. We'll give that a try later on, but we'll see how techno does first. Okay, 333, 325. I have no idea what that is supposed to be. Let's take a look. It didn't pronounce the U.
I turn aside into the fields. My path by thorns was there concealed. Then all hand pointing, so did I yield.
Oh, there's an odd accent here.
Straightway no longer did I know. The stick around my boots did blow.
I like that.
Only forward might I go.
But again, it didn't pronounce the U.
On I went with silent step.
The instrumentals don't have a lot going on with them, unfortunately. I wonder if I can get by without that U. Keep this as a backup, maybe.
But marshes rank with slime and mold. Still resolute, my heart still short and bold.
Okay, I don't like that. I could take out the shore. Okay, that's not bad. I tell you what, I'm gonna do a remix of this. So lyric strength is gonna be pretty high. Generally around 85 is good. Around anything higher than 90-95% you risk it garbling things. Weirdness, for the life of me I haven't been able to figure out exactly what that does. I think it has something to do with how things are pronounced. This, though, I'm going to take down to 30. Oh yes, and I was going to take out this. I think that'll help. In the meantime, let's listen to this one. see it got that tower imagery in the generated images. At least it's paying attention. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't actually hear that. Let me turn this back on. Okay, let me start that over. Okay. Did you hear how garbled that was? Sounded like it ran Humu and Shud together. It like just took a cutout mesh and rammed these together without a space between them. I might fix that by remixing it, but I don't actually like this all that much. So I'm not even going to bother with this one. But by now, the cover of the first song is ready, so let's take a listen to that. Not bad.
I turned aside into the fields.
Okay, so it pronounced this U, but not this one. Okay, now since this is a repeating line, I may, after it's generated, I may go into the stems and be able to take perhaps this line and just paste and just cut this one out and put that one in if it's pronounced the same way. If that's the only issue, I might be able to save it. All the same, take this down to 30, take this up to 95. I mean, this song's kind of growing on me.
My path by thorns was there concealed. Not hand pointing, so did I yield. Straightway no longer did I know. Dust stick around, my boots did blow. Only forward might I go.
Oh, there it pronounced it. I may be able to save it.
On I went with silent step. Head bowed low the way I kept. Towards the tower I was swept.
Got it right there too.
Stones or friends of old. The marshes rank with slime and mold. Still resolute, my heart still bold.
Okay, we need to do a quality control thing here. Let's hope ChatGPT doesn't lie to me. It does that, you know. Okay, so... oh, hey, look, it's me. I think that G should have should be like a G and not a G sound. But I'm hoping ChatGPT will know. It's got a better chance of knowing than I do. I'm just guessing. Dies the G, yes. If it's the hard G, we're good. Okay, so Refusion got it right. Which means I am mispronouncing some things. But that's okay. What's important is what we have is linguistically correct. Now, I think I can save this song. I did another cover on it that I hope fixed the ooh issues, but if necessary I can cut and copy a good line and replace the old lines with it, I think. I could use Reaper for that, but I think I'll just go with Audacity. Audacity's easy to work with, and it's what I'm used to, as long as the changes are relatively minor and don't require a lot of precision. Now, one of the problems with Twice here is that it doesn't have the dark feel that the song deserves. That is an ongoing problem for the album. A lot of the songs are, at least to me, they feel mysterious, but they don't necessarily feel dark and sinister like they should. And usually what happened with that is, well, I'd spent hours and hours and hours staring at a screen, listening to song after song after song, where it was basically the same words done in a different way over and over and over again. And at one point I was like, okay, the words are correct in this one. I like it. I don't want to spend another 6 hours doing this. So I took the song that worked, and that's the song that's the official song in the album. So we'll go through one more song just to see what okay, dark, sinister, I like it. Definite beat. Skipped a line. Not good.
I turned aside into the field. My path by thorns was there.
Interesting how path was pronounced. Not sure what I think about it.
Not hand pointing, so did I.
Was that and or hand?
Straightway,
It was hand.
no longer did I know. Dust stick around my boots did blow.
He was not
Only
pronounced properly.
forward might I go.
Don't like that pause.
I've taken over my love instead. On I went.
Okay, so this isn't going to be useful without at least a remix. There's just too many things that are not pronounced, pauses where I don't like them. I like the feel, but the execution is not perfect, and we need perfection. And this is not something I'm willing to try and fix in a DAW. I'm probably not going to end up using this, but I'll do a cover anyway. About 35%, 90. Sometimes I go 85, but I'm thinking 90 for this. I don't know why I did sure and. It just doesn't seem to flow very well. It seemed different when I was writing it. Okay, what about Humu Mesh here? It spells mesh. Ah, it would help if I press play. No. It strikes me that the audio comes through here, so there's a good chance you didn't hear any of those songs, and I'm going to have to edit them in. I hate my life. Alright, well, anyway. So, that's this part. But, that's just how we get the song. Now, the videos are really pretty generic. They're not done with AI. They're... let's see. Oh, I already have it running? Oh, okay. So, for the album videos... Okay, for the album videos, it's pretty simple. It's just a template, background image, fades in, fades out, text at the beginning, text at the end, the logo here, and the audio down here. Yeah. And most of the stuff here I just don't use. The non-album songs are a bit more complex because, well, they're a little flashier. Got a little more going on. Okay, so this template was set up for one of the older videos. We've got here is the background I normally use. You can't see that, you can't see that. There's this, several layers of transparency. I split this image in two and put half on either side because why not? These are actual little videos in and of themselves, and I can tint them so that they're different colors. The song is, I don't think is actually there anymore, is it? Oh no, it still is.
Numbers flowing through my veins, all these voices sound the same. Lost the warmth of skin to skin.
There's an effect on this, and these are mostly transparent.
Reaching out but can't break free.
Oh yeah, sorry. So anyway, I'd like to walk through a song from start to finish next time, but for now, we're done. It's been 45 minutes. I'll edit it down, but however much I can reduce it, you've been through enough. That's basically what I do. That's how I do it. You can make of it what you will. Take care.
Their names the ages yet shall know. Sticks and stones.